After watching Avatar Fire and Ash, I came back recently to rewatch the first Avatar 16 years after I first watched it. Back then I was 22 and I had the worst seat in the theater. This time I watched it with my nephew who wasn't even born when I first watched it. And somehow it hit me way harder than it ever did before. Let me explain why. So whether you watched Avatar in 2009 or in 2026, you have to admit it doesn't look like a 2009 movie. CGI in general does not age well because it is a product of its time. And I think what Avatar did so well is transcending that limit because it took so long to make, and the quality of CGI that you have in Avatar 2009 is still looking so good today. I like to compare it with old video games. 15 years ago, you might have played a video game that you really liked, but if you want to try and play it today, it is so hard because the graphics is just not what you're used to now. One good example of this is Dragon Age Origins. I loved that game when it first came out, around the same time, 2009. And when I played it, I loved it at the time, and it was so good for its time in terms of graphics. Today, I can't play Dragon Age Origins. It's just not playable for me. I mean, I will play it if I want to do it for stream or for some other purpose, but not just to play it casually. It's not as fun as it was before. One exception to this rule is The Witcher 3, which for some reason is still amazing to look at today as it was in 2015. And I think what Avatar did so well is it chased believability and realism and not just spectacle to be awesome, to be great, because every movie that does that is again a product of its time. Another element that made this time hit so hard was an element that I can't run away from, and that is my age. When I watched this movie the first time, I was 22, and today I'm 38. There's a big difference to who you are as a person when you watch something at your early 20s and your late 30s. When I was 22, I was free. I didn't have any worry in the world. I wasn't even a student yet. I started my degree in age 24. So I was basically having fun. And when I watched that movie, it felt like a cool thing to watch. Today, I'm a totally different person. I'm a senior software engineer. I have responsibilities. I have work. I have goals that I need to work towards in my personal life. When you are at the stage that I'm at right now, what Jake Sully did in the first movie, which was run away from any limitation that he ever had, just speaks to you more intimately. I guess what I'm trying to say that watching this at 22 and seeing Jake Sully run away felt cool. Watching Jake Sully run away at age 38 felt painful, but in a good way. Even 16 years after this movie first came out, Pandora looks beautiful as ever. And I think that's just one little element that just makes everything come together. Same goes for the music, which we'll talk about in a bit, but for right now, I just want to acknowledge how amazing it looks to see the night scenes where you see the forest lights with bioluminescence, and you see the waterfalls, and also when you see destruction happen, because it just pains you in a different way to see everything torn down after you watched it before, and it was so beautiful. The scene when Jake and Neytiri wake up under the tree, and they wake up because of tractors coming to tear everything down, was painful to watch. Not because I had a care for the environment at that moment. It was a bubble that was bursting. And I think having Pandora look so beautiful and then having the RDA destroy it is bursting that bubble. We can't talk about Avatar 2009 without talking about its music. And I don't have a lot to say because the music is just so good, and that's it, period. I love how the music accompanies all of the emotional moments too, and there's a variety to it because you either have a moment where Jake is going to say something to the clan, or you have a moment when the RDA is destroying something. Whatever moment it is, there's some kind of music to accompany it and elevate it and make it a lot better than it is. So kudos to the composer of Avatar's music because it's just so good. And also it's very understandable. The music is coded so well to make it very apparent who the focus is on. You have the RDA music, so you have like the trumpets or whatever it is. And when it's the Na'vi, you have this chorus of voices singing together. So it's so distinct in a good way. I think watching Avatar 2009 and knowing there are 2 movies that you can watch next after watching this one is also sort of a comfort, because when I first watched it 16 years ago, and I remember the news coming out that the next movie would be 16 years later or 15 years, because I think it was delayed also along the way, I was heartbroken because I loved the first movie and I wanted to feel like the MCU, where you have a movie every couple of years or something like that. It was so distinct and such an amazing experience that I never had before, and I just wanted more of it. And now I am glad that there is more of it, but I'm also hoping that Avatar 4 and 5 happen as well. So, if you would ask me today if you should watch Avatar 2009, I would say yes, definitely. Please do it. I need more people to talk about Avatar with. Also, I'm very happy it's streaming now and not only in the theaters, because I'm human and I have to pee. And I want to do it without missing parts of the movie. So that is something that is very convenient in today's atmosphere of watching movies. But yes, if it's a new movie like Avatar 4 and 5, which I'm hoping would come out, I will watch them in the movies, in the theater, like I did Fire and Ash, which I'm sure I'll make a video on at some point. Anyway, if you watched Avatar when it initially came out and you watch it again now, I would love to know how it hits you now versus how it hit you back then. If you haven't watched Avatar, let me know if you plan to. I'm genuinely curious.